Hey, Creative Juice by Lonnie here for our June New at SU blog hop. We are featuring some of our favorite suites from the catalog with summertime projects. So I chose the He's the Man suite, which includes the bundle of the stamps plus the dies that coordinate with that. The He's the Man 12 by 12 designer series paper and the rustic metallic adhesive backed dots that you can also use. And all of these you can get, I don't know if you've noticed in the catalog, when you can buy the whole suite collection, this one is only $68, which includes 10% off the bundle. So it's a great bargain. And if you ever struggle to make cards or gifts for men, this will solve all of your problems. Let me show you what I mean. Today, we're going to be making this cute little box that houses or contains two grilling blends that they could use. And the way that I've made this box, first of all, I found these two blends. I like the little square look of them. And they're made by one of my previous neighbors. And we've loved using them for barbecuing. So this little Father's Day gift could also be turned into a birthday gift if you're having a birthday during the summer. And what I did is I measured how wide they were, which was 3.5 inches by, together. Two of them is 3.5 inches and one of them is 1 3/4 inches. So when you do that, let me explain. I started with, I knew that I needed to have 3.5 inches wide plus 1 3/4 on each side for the width of each of those blends. So I cut my paper to 7 inches by 11 inches. We're going to score this on the short side at 1 3/4, short end, and 5 1/4. So that's 1 3/4 on each side. Then I'm going to turn it, and this time I decided I wanted to be able to see it a little bit. So when you open it up, so I made the front a little bit shorter than the back. The front I've scored at 3.5, and then 5 1/4. That's also 1 3/4 inches apart. And then it was 4 1/4 inches tall, so I'm gonna come up here to 9.5. We're also going to score a piece of 3.5 by 7-inch designer series paper, which has the barbecue design on it, on all sides at 1 3/4 inches. So 1 3/4, 1 3/4, which is actually right down the center of that piece, and then 1 3/4. So you can just turn it around. Okay, when you're making the box, you can keep this piece to stamp on, your piece that you'll need on the front. But when you're making a box, you want to score all of the score lines really well. So we'll just burnish those score lines with our bone folder here, a very handy tool to get a nice crisp edge. Next, you want to cut along those score lines. And I usually like to just do a little bit of mitering, so I start just off the edge and come up to the point where the two score lines meet. And then again, you're kind of creating a little V like that. It just helps the box to fold easier if it has a little bit of wiggle room on the joints. So I've scored it or cut it there and there. This one on the corner, the smallest side where you have your flap, you'll want to cut that corner off, the smallest flap. So this is the 3.5 inch side, or this was your 3.5 inch scored, 5 1/4 and 9.5. So up here on the 9.5 edge, just cut that little piece off. And again, I'm kind of still mitering into that point. And again, here and here. All right, our box is almost ready to assemble. And I am going to put on the 3.5 inch side, since this is our front, I want this to fold around from the front to the back. So I'm going to put our tear and tape adhesive right here. I love the fact that you can just tear it right off. I'm going to fold these two little pieces over and do the tear and tape on the back so that they don't poke out and prevent you from sliding in those spices. Then I'm going to fold over the top flap and put two pieces of tear and tape right here, which will hold our designer series paper when we are done. Okay, let's start by exposing our adhesive right here, the two small flaps, and bring the back up. And again on the same on the other side here. We're just bringing those two bottom flaps in and getting them stuck so they don't flap down inside the box and prevent you from adding what you want in here, adding your spices. Then we'll take off the top of the other adhesive, same thing, wrap this around, and you're going to get a nice box that doesn't have any pieces showing from the front. The next thing I'm going to do quickly is just cut off a small bit right here, and you can just eyeball this. I'm not going to cut it all the way to the corner. I want to leave a little bit on the corner to help hold my box lid in place. So just kind of cutting it sideways. Now let's put that aside for just a moment and come to our lid. Again, we want to fold this along the score lines. And from both ends, you're going to cut in and miter those just a smidgen. So from the bottom up, slanted in slightly up towards the top where the point meets. Next, you want to figure out which side you want. I can see that here's my cow facing the right direction. I guess both sides it works out great. I want this to be in the front of my box. This will be the top of the lid. And I want these to fold away. So again, you have this nice continuous piece of designer series paper. Rather than having a flap like this, you want to have it fold away from that. So we'll put our adhesive on the back piece. Okay, so now we've exposed our adhesive. We're just going to fold that over so that it is square on the back and the bottom. Looking good. Then all we have to do is adhere it to the top of our box. We already have the tear and tape on. So this is the tricky part. You're going to line up the bottom of your lid with the bottom of the edge of the designer series paper on the back. Press and fold. To embellish this box, we will do a little bit of stamping in Early Espresso ink. This is a 3.5 inch by 3/4 inch piece of designer series paper. Wishing you a happy Father's Day. Same with our Holy Smokes, You're Amazing. One of the fun things about the designer series paper is it does have some punch outs that you can use. So like if you wanted to add a little grill on there, you could do that. So there's our Holy Smokes, You're Amazing. This one is going to go right on the flap. Right there. This one we will die cut with our mini cut and emboss machine. Then you'll simply layer these together on the front of your box using dimensionals. This one I've already cut out of one of the other dies in this He's the Man suite. And finally, we'll just embellish a little bit using our rustic metallic adhesive backed dots. I think I'm going to use these large ones because we're not trying to mail it in the mail. So this is a perfect time for a little bit of bumpy prettiness, and that just gives it a really nice finished look. Now, you can leave the lid as is with these squared off corners, or in this case, I also cut the lid slightly diagonally, so you can choose however you want to finish that off. But they both look beautiful. So there you go. There's our project for a summertime celebration with Father's Day. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for sharing it, and we'll talk to you soon.